the clamp off the front of the machine, and it was actually a lot easier than I expected. I had a really tough time getting it on. The pins that go in the front pivot, they were coated with rust because they had been sitting for years and years, so I had to sand them all down or polish them with the wire wheel and clean them all up, get them greased, and it took a long time to get that thing on. But it took me about 10 minutes to get it off, and this is what the clamp looks like. It's basically just an extension to the front bucket. I know it's a little covered with leaves and junk right now, but it has a connection for the pivot, which is this where the thick pin goes right here, and then it has a connector right here for the hydraulic that will actually lift it up and down so that you can come up on something and clamp down on it and pick it up. It works pretty good, but for what I'm going to do out here in the woods, I think that it would make a lot more sense to have the rock rake on. So in order to do that though, I got to run back to the house. I forgot that when you take off that bucket, you need to clamp these, or you need something to hold these hydraulics down. If you look right here, there's whoever put this thing together, they put a bolt in here that I had to remove, and the reason for it is that it'll hold this up because it doesn't have anything to hold it. It'll just fall backwards if I don't put something in here. So I got to go grab those and put them in, and then hopefully I can get the rock rake on with just about as much ease as I had putting or getting the clamp off. Alright, so I got the bolt holder braces, whatever you want to call them. I got those in, and I think that I'm ready to go. I'll show you how simple they are. I think they just took a threaded rod and they just put a couple nuts on the ends of it and they laced them through. Pretty simple, but it does hold it in place, so it's not going to be bouncing all over the place, and it should allow me to get that rock rake put in place, and then I'm presuming that this will help these last longer if I'm not using it all the time, so maybe that'll actually be in my favor. Looks like the only thing I can really do at this point is muscle it, so I'm going to turn off the camera for a minute and see if I can wrestle it up onto there. Hopefully it won't be as bad as it feels like it's going to be. So we're going to see what this does. I've never used it before. I presume that what you do is you kind of face downward a little bit, so it goes through the soil about 6 inches and it just pulls up those rocks, and then we run over it with the trax and we'll see how that goes. I see a big rock down there. I'm thinking I'm going to try pushing on it and see what happens, but let's give it a try. Well, looks like the ground is still pretty wet, but made it through. I don't know if it's better or worse than when I started, but it's definitely broken up a little. Ooh, whoa, and slippery. So there's some of these big rocks I'm gonna have to move, but we've got a trail. It's a start. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. This is the first time I've used the machine and I didn't break anything that I'm aware of. So I'm gonna stop for today. Man, that's a big rock. I have to move that out of the way. So anyway, I ripped up a bunch of roots, which is good. It appears that there's probably 3 or 4 inches of topsoil, and then under that is just, it looks like clay. So that's a good thing. That means that once I get some of the roots out of there, get some of that topsoil off, that clay should dry pretty quick and compact, be a nice hard trail. And also things shouldn't grow back too quick on it. I'm going to try to avoid that when it comes to some of the other stuff I want to do. I want to clear out some of this underbrush, take a couple of the big trees out so that I can put up some fencing for the cows and maybe get a pasture in here. I don't want to take all the trees out, but I want to get enough out of here so that I can grow some grasses and some good stuff for the cows to eat. So it's going to take some time. It's going to take quite a bit of work, but I have the tools to do it. I just have to get myself moving. Alright, thanks guys.